Matrix Technologies Incorporated, your single source partner for engineering, construction, automation, and information.
The metals industry is very impressive, right? So, many don't really think about it on an everyday basis, but the roads we drive on, the bridges we cross, the rail that takes all of our products from facility to facility, that's all been driven from this industry. And there's been some really big players in this market, a lot of large companies out there that have supported, not only just the United States but the world, and its ability to be able to transport materials around and then also fabricate them into what we see every day. From skyscrapers all the way into the car you drive to work is all driven from the steels industry. Hello there, my name is Tony Ferguson, and I am our Senior Manager of Industry Solutions here at Matrix Technologies. One of the things that I see quite often is legacy automation. So in the metals industry, you are dealing with an industry that has been thriving for many years. And such, there are many different various platforms and various different technologies that are out there still supporting existing facilities. In most industries, they can typically take the life of technology, usually 20 or 30 years. But in the metals industry, they pride themselves for getting 40, 50, and plus even many more years out of their equipment. This drives the need for having a workforce that understands these older technologies, but even beyond that, finding spare parts or places that can actually repair items becomes less and less as time goes on. So we've seen a lot of investment in what are called mini mills. So these are typically smaller facilities, usually specializing in a very specific metals to produce for their clients. And so these typically will have, likely an electric arc furnace, which will allow you to recycle metals. But they're typically smaller footprint, allowing them to be placed in areas maybe that are more rural, to be able to place them throughout the country to get a diverse workforce. So whereas 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, you saw many more what are called integrated mills, which typically create steel from raw materials. We're seeing a big trend into the more those mini mills with the recycled products, just as the materials are there and available for recycling of cars and other large metal objects. And then being able to then produce their downstream products for their customers at a closer location to their end users, which reduce time on transportation and getting those goods to their clients. Some of the key buzzwords that are out there in industries or major areas of focus, the one that comes to mind for me is decarbonization. So that's a big word, but really what it means is to reduce the carbon footprint or impact on the environment that these mills have, right? So older legacy integrated mills typically are burning fossil fuels and utilizing fuel sources such as coal, natural gas, and these can be very costly to provide to a facility, but then also have some negative side effects on the environment. So in the next 10 to 15 years, we're seeing what is called the green renaissance, meaning that they're finding better ways to make energy sources so that they can supply that to the mills, but then also utilizing better efficient furnaces to be able to maximize their operations. One of the most common challenges that I see in this industry is it's been deemed a dangerous industry. With the utilization of heavy machinery, gigantic cranes, you have a lot higher risk involved in just your everyday actions, right? And so like anything, risk can be mitigated, so you can drive safety, whether it just be safety awareness, practices, principles, and then even beyond that, trying to engineer solutions to keep operators out of areas that can be extremely dangerous during production, and that'll help reduce overall injuries and or fatalities. One of the most impactful projects that I worked on as a project engineer was a automatic retrieving crane used in an aluminum facility. So this project included updating and migrating several existing control systems and the storage document database that actually kept track of all the coils and their locations. But we were able to utilize Safety PLC to install heat gates so that as operators would enter into the area that the crane had access to, the crane would stop or pause its position of where it was located, so that it was not moving while an operator was in that area. This is a very dangerous application, as if an operator is in the area, the crane really has no proximity to knowledge of who's there, and could potentially knock somebody over, could put somebody in a really dangerous position. We had to actually integrate with not only just the crane controls, we also had to integrate with 2 line controls, a slitter machine and then a cold mill. But then on top of that, this facility utilized AGVs, or automatic guided vehicles, that delivered the coils to the bay. So we also had to interface with that wireless communication to the cars to make sure that as operators were moving into the areas that were restricted, these pieces of equipment were not damaging. One of the things that sets us apart in the industry would be just really the diverse knowledge base to be able to support it, right? So as the facility and as the equipment and as the manufacturing sites have many different eras of manufactured equipment, we have to have a diverse knowledge base to be able to support that, right? So there's equipment that was installed when I was likely in diapers and still being used, and so having people that were around 20, 30, 40 years ago, knowledge of those systems is really great, but then being able to adapt and understand and learn new technology and how to integrate it in existing facilities is really key of how we've been successful throughout the years.
Matrix Technologies is a single source solution for multidiscipline engineering, construction, systems integration, and digital transformation needs.